What is up, FPL managers guys? Today we are looking at my Game Week 18 results, my Game Week 19 team selection and what I did with 5 free transfers. Going into the results now guys, we had a pretty good game week. First off, we'll start with the defence. Sanchez blanked, lost his clean sheet towards the end of the game like he normally does. Gavardio blanked as well, despite Everton almost having no expected goals and Gavardio having 2 big chances but missing them both. Luckily we had some heroes there. I could call Gabriel a hero, but the Arsenal defence is so high owned it doesn't really matter that he got a clean sheet. If you lost a clean sheet, it wouldn't have affected my rank at all, because while not everyone owns an Arsenal defender, there's quite a lot of people that own 2 of them. But the real hero here guys is my lowest owned player in the team. Almost no one owns Brighton defence, and to be honest, rightfully so. But this game week it pays off and he bags me 8 points. He gets 2 of the bonus points. Thank God, that one is huge. He is the sole reason I'm on a green arrow. In midfield, I could talk about Salah and Palmer, except both their points mean absolutely nothing because everybody had Salah captain and everybody had Palmer vice captain, just like me. If I went with Palmer, it would have got me 1 extra point. Hardly any difference whatsoever this game week. I'm actually quite surprised Salah got less than 10 points for what seems like the first time this season. And the rest of midfield is very underwhelming. I didn't expect much from Rodgers, to be honest. I mean, playing away to Newcastle was a tough game. I was just holding on to him so that good fixture run could come around and he could start playing well for my team again. Saying that, he did just get 14 points the game week before, so can't expect too much from him 2 game weeks in a row. He's only 5.4 million, of course. The final midfielder is Odegaard. Odegaard has blanked for me 5 out of 5 game weeks now. He has got to go. He's been massively disappointing. I brought him in instead of Jared Bowen all those weeks ago, and I massively regret it because Bowen has been doing very well. I definitely should have, left Odegaard and not got him in the first place. So I've got to correct that mistake. And the front line proves fruitful yet again. Well, Jackson's been a bit disappointing recently, but I still like him as an asset. Chelsea's fixtures are still good. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of patience in FPL, guys. I'm sure Jackson is going to pull through. Havertz got me his usual goal. He's quite consistent, to be fair. I quite like it, but with Havertz, you see, the best he's done for me is get like 1 goal a game, and in some games he's blanked. And I know not to be greedy, but that was for an 8 million player during Arsenal's best fixture run. Now the fixtures are getting quite tough. I don't really want anything to do with him. Even though he's done quite well for me as a differential, he's kind of on the nice. He's kind of got to go as well. And then we got Isak, who was still banging in goal after goal. 54 points in 4 games. What a man, what a hero. I mean, his ownership is so high now, the points don't really mean much, but it's still a little something. So we end up with a very small green arrow going from 66k to 59k, which isn't too bad because the biggest threat to my rank on Saturday, Cunha, got a whopping 12 points. So to survive that, I don't mind, okay? Big scary Cunha, I survived him. So guys, we now head on to the 5 free transfers in which I used 3 of. Now guys, this team needed a bit of clearing out, I've got to be honest. With all that being said, you can see 3 players, 2 of them that I'm selling, they returned for me last game week, which is a bit shameful of me. Normally I stick by the guys who stuck by me, but some of these guys just had to go. We'll start with Veltman. Veltman joined my team and then got injured for pretty much every single game week except this one for which he just came back. And he got me 8 points, Brighton's first clean sheet in a little while, to be honest. And I'm very thankful, he was a good differential, but his fixture run has taken a big turn for the worst. And there's a lot of good defenders, okay? A lot of good ones I could bring in. Originally, I was thinking the likes of Munoz, but I decided to go with Trent. The Trent fixture run is not amazing, but it gets a lot better soon. And obviously, his expected goal involvements is so high. He's definitely the best defender in the game, without a doubt. It's just whether he can actually get his assists, his expected assists turned into an assist, because normally this season so far he's been getting a lot, but they've not been converted much. I mean, he had that one game where he got 2 assists from 0.3 expected assist, which is a massive overperformance. But the entire season he's got 4.4 expected assists, but only 4. So most of the season he's been really unlucky and underperforming the expected assists quite a lot. So I'm hoping his teammates stop letting him down so I can start getting some points. Then we got to sell the Arsenal duo because they've mostly been disappointing. I mean, I know Havertz, he's been quite good for me. He's been alright. Not worth 8 million, especially when that fixture run was so good. And Odegaard, I've got absolutely no words for. He's been massively disappointing. I should have gone with Jared Bowen like I wanted to 5 game weeks ago. I made the wrong choice. So we're selling these two. We're bringing in Ismaili Sarr and Solanke. We had to down price an Odegaard if we wanted to afford Trent. And to be honest, I actually downgraded Odegaard to Sarr before even thinking of getting Trent, just because Ismaili Sarr was really the only good midfield option, guys. In terms of midfielders and forwards, the market is kind of dry right now. There's not a lot of good options to go for, really. But there were two semi-decent players, you know, with decent expected data and an okay fixture run. Ismaili Sarr, definitely a really good value player. And Solanke, pretty much across the board, real consistent. The fixture run, the next two fixtures, they're quite good. The two after that are quite hard, I've got to be honest. Away to Arsenal and away to Everton, I'm not looking forward to whatsoever. But he more than makes up for it by playing home to Leicester after that. And, you know, Tottenham are weird. They'll play away to Arsenal and score 4 goals and then play home to Leicester and score like 0. So yeah, those are the 3 transfers I have made. All 3 free transfers, finally putting the 5 free transfers to some good use. As far as the team goes, we'll start by talking about Sanchez. Not really much to say. He hasn't conceded before the 80th minute in the last 3 games. I've been getting disappointed in the last minutes of a few games, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, the Ipswich game is alright. The Chelsea defence is alright. We'll see how it goes. In defence, we've got some big powerhouses here now, guys. Look at these stats here. Look at the expected goal involvements per 90 of my defenders and how they rank against the rest of the defenders in the league. As you can see, I've got a pretty lethal bunch going big at the back, so I don't have to just rely on clean sheets or points from my defence. I can rely on the goal involvements too. It's been a while since FPL has been big at the back. I think it's been like 3-4 years. But I think it's time again, you know, I've got to try it out because there's not a lot of good midfielders and forwards. In midfield, we look at Salah and Palmer now. Usually it's like everyone has Salah captain, everybody's got Palmer vice captain, so their points don't really mean much. Well, I think it's going to be a little split this time round because the Palmer fixture on paper looks a lot better. If you look into the details, the Salah fixture is just as good as the Palmer fixture, except Salah has better data. So Salah, for me, is the obvious captaincy choice, but I do think captaincy will be a tiny bit more split this time round. Not a lot, so either way, both their points won't mean much whatsoever, but at least it's a little something different. In midfield, we've got Morgan Rogers playing home to Brighton as well. Pretty decent fixture. I mean, Brighton in their last 6 games have drawn 3 and lost 3. They're not on good form whatsoever, so Aston Villa playing at home, definitely a few goals in it for them, and hopefully Morgan Rogers is involved in some of them. Rogers has the exact same fixtures at the exact same time, but the other way round, so he plays away to Everton, then away to Arsenal, whereas Solanke plays away to Arsenal, then away to Everton. Don't really know what you gain from that info, but yeah, thought I'd tell you. You know, interested me a little bit. Then we got Ismaili Sarr. We have an amazing entry point to Ismaili Sarr playing home to Southampton. Really good expected data for someone under 6 mil. Let's just hope he can get one of his big hauls for me. He's usually either a blank or loads of points. No in between most of the time. Overall, I like the look of these 2 cheap players in Rogers and Sarr, you know. There's not a lot of people that are going to be owning both of them, and owning these 2 allows me to get the expensive defenders and the big forwards in my team, which can get me the big boy points. Talking of the front line, obviously we talked about Solanke already. Got decent hopes for him, but like I said, there's not a lot of good forwards to choose from anyway. So we went with him as the best option. Definitely a solid option for the next 2 game weeks. Onwards past that point, I'm not too sure, but we'll just have to wait and see. Like I said, Tottenham are weird. He'll probably score more points in the harder games than the easier games. We've got Isak, who, like I said, 54 points in the last 5 games. An absolute icon, an FPL hero. Going to end as one of the highest scorers this season, no doubt. That is until he gets an injury or Newcastle have their random run of bad form, which they seem to always have at some point. But I think they had most of that at the beginning of the season, over and done already. Then we got Jackson, who has been struggling in recent times. He's only got 1 goal and 0 assists in the last 5 games, despite the easy fixture run. But it doesn't worry me too much. I mean, he is losing minutes to Nkunku, you know, 15 to 20 minutes per game, which is worrying me. But hopefully Nkunku won't start over him. It's only a little suspicion that Nkunku will, so I'm not going to take action on it yet. If Nkunku does start next game week over Jackson, then it's time to get a little worried. But for now, Jackson, across the board, he's been real consistent all season, the 10th highest scorer in FPL. So he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. He's just been on some bad form at the moment. I definitely wouldn't recommend anyone sell Jackson. Anyway, guys, if you did make it this far, thank you very much for watching. Yeah, I'll see you all in the next video.